something new to talk about today. TwitchCon is going on right now over this weekend. It started yesterday. Today is Saturday and is going on to tomorrow, Sunday as well. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the clip of Emiru. If you know who Emiru is, or if not, just seen the clip at all of her being harassed at TwitchCon. So let's talk about that. I'm going to pull up the clip so you guys can see exactly what it is. I'm going to provide context for you guys as always. Let me go ahead and swap over to desktop here. So this was yesterday. Yesterday at TwitchCon. So this is during her meet and greet. This guy goes up to her and looks like he very visibly wants to kiss her or something. Something odd, right? Like, definitely something's very weird here. And she's obviously interacting with another fan. So, like, the fact that this guy kind of just, like, comes out from the side, he's not even in line, and just makes his way over and, like, ew, like, what the hell? Look at this. What? Who is putting their hands on a stranger like that? Is that not so weird? Like, ew, dude. Like, that's kind of crazy. The camera guy, whoa. Crazy. Yeah, so that just happened at TwitchCon. That's obviously, like, really, really sad. No one deserves to be harassed, especially if you're doing something so nice, like doing a meet and greet so your fans can meet you at, like, a once a year kind of thing. So yeah, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on all that, and I do want to talk to you about it because that is really terrible. The other fan doesn't even respond. No, he doesn't. And it's like, I would like to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he just didn't have good reaction time, but at the same time, like, he didn't even react. Like, that wasn't negative reaction time. He just nothing happened. Might have been in shock. Maybe, but I don't know, because it's not like the guy came, like, flying out of nowhere and charged her. Like, he did just casually walk up to her. So how are you in shock over that? I don't know. Like, I've been in shock before, but it was also because of something major. Like, I just feel like someone, like, walking in front of you. How do you go in shock over that? Or maybe that's just, like, a terrible way that I see it. I don't know. I don't know. Supposedly they denied her preferred bodyguard or something. Yeah, apparently the security situation with TwitchCon this year, they weren't allowing people to bring in personal bodyguards and stuff like that, which is not good. Or just they don't want to get in legal trouble. There is that as well. There is that too. Emi said at first she thought he was supposed to be there. Oh, that's interesting. She was in shock at first. I mean, of course. And, you know, the thing is, like, I saw that post on Twitter and people on Twitter were saying things along the lines of, like, well, why didn't she react? Why didn't she push him away? It's like, this dude is obviously way taller than her and is coming up to her. It's like, why should she have to defend herself when there's security around? Security, which they did step in, but it should be them. Like, the fact that people were blaming her, saying she did this, and that wrong. What? She wanted to bring her own security guard and they wouldn't even let her bring in her own security guard. So that is a little... that's a little weird. It's a bit weird, Chad. A bit odd. Maybe he thought Amiru knew that person until she pulled away. And it is possible. It is possible. Guy pushed away was her bodyguard? Yes. Yes, for a meet and greet, but I know she wasn't allowed to bring her own personal one. So I believe I saw some other stuff regarding this on Twitter. Let me take a quick look real quick. But, like, as a situation as a whole, obviously it's not very good. And I've heard things about, you know, security at TwitchCon at this year not being very good too. But this is a clip of Amiru talking with, I believe this is Jason DeWeen. I don't really know many big streamers, so I believe that's what this guy's name is, talking about how she was not allowed to bring in her bodyguard. So let's watch this.
I had a security...
Here, let's start from the beginning.
I don't think that's true. Okay, maybe I should talk about this, whatever, who cares. I had a security guard 2 years ago where there was a guy following me around TwitchCon, and he, like, asked him to stop multiple times. My guard asked him and the guy wouldn't stop, so he grabbed the guy, but he didn't, like, hurt him. He was just holding the guy until, like, the con security came. And then for some reason they're like, yeah, because your security guard touched him, he's, like, permabanned from the venue forever. But he didn't even hit him or anything. He just, like, held him while they waited for, like, the police to come. And
what the fuck?
And it was, like, my favorite security guard. I can't have him at TwitchCon anymore. I was just like, okay, like, it was so sad because he did, like, everything.
So her security guard did his job. And he's not allowed at TwitchCon because he did his job. He put his hands on someone that was following her. And they said, your security guard did his job. What? Is that not Really? Like, what kind of sense does that make? It's super scuffed, obviously. And then I saw this clip as well, just kind of showing some things about the security at TwitchCon this year. So I want to show you guys this too. Look at this.
Thank you.
Wait, right?
Yeah. We'll just scan in, and then we're meeting him up front.
Okay. So if anyone's been to a festival before, you know you have these wristbands, and they have like a little hard bit on the wristbands, and that's what scans to show that your ticket is valid. So let me restart this again real quick.
Thank you.
Wait, right?
Yeah. We'll just scan in.
So the first one works.
Meeting him up front.
Okay.
And look, the second one is like not registering.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
And the guy just says, yeah, you're good. His wristband wasn't registering, and the guy just goes, yeah, go ahead. Like, just because he's with someone who had a wristband that works does not mean that his is a real one. You know, that could have been the whole play, to just, you know, have like a very real looking, like, I'm not saying that's this person's situation, like, it's probably not this person's situation, but, you know, there are people that can be faking TwitchCon bans and just going like, no, it's not working, go on through, you know, that's not safe. I've seen the same shit at festivals, to be fair, and so have I, but that doesn't make it right. Just because it happens, you know, often or has happened before, I feel like doesn't make it right. Like, at the end of the day, you're spending all that money on a ticket. People that are going to this place should only be there if they have a ticket, you know, like, Jaeger, you've been to, obviously, festivals at NOS Event Center in San Bernardino. There are people that walk outside the festival grounds selling, like, fake wristbands and stuff that probably won't even scan for, you know, cheaper prices and, well, you know, for people to like fake get into the event or look like they're supposed to be there. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. So I don't think that's all right. Apparently she tweeted her side of the situation. So let's take a look-see chat. Let's go ahead and take a look-see. We swap back to desktop here. What did she say? Okay, 6 hours ago. Hello everyone, I am okay. Thank you all for the kind messages. Sorry I cannot respond to them all. Yesterday the man who assaulted me was allowed to cross multiple barriers. At TwitchCon, and even in front of another creator's meet and greet to grab me in my face and try to kiss me. Fortunately, he wasn't able to, but a lot of people have pointed out that it could have been a lot worse. I'm obviously shaken up by what happened. It's not the first time I've dealt with something like this, but to tell you honestly, I'm a lot more hurt and upset by how Twitch handled it during and after the fact. Oh, T. Like I said, I don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me in the first place. The security in a clip who reacts is my own security. It's true, my favorite and usual security guard was banned for holding a stalker's arm to bring him to the police at a past TwitchCon. However, okay, so she was able to have her own one, I guess, during this situation, just not her favorite one. However, there were at least 3 or 4 other TwitchCon security staff in the area who did not react and let the guy walk away, as you can see in the clip, since they don't appear in frame. That's not good. The woman who was walking me away is my own personal manager, and behind the booth, the only 2 people who were checking on me and comforting me were her and my friend. None of the TwitchCon staff came to ask what happened or if I was okay. My friend who was present told me Twitch security were also behind the booth afterwards, joking about how they didn't even see what happened and immediately laughing and moving on to talking about something else. So if no one was checking if I was okay or if I needed anything and they let the guy run away initially, I have no idea what anyone hired to keep the event safe was doing. That is kind of crazy. In Twitch's statement, they said that the guy was immediately caught and detained. I'm sorry, but that is a blatant lie. Oh, he was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me, and it felt like this only happened because of my manager pressing for it, not because TwitchCon staff present thought it was a big deal. I have a lot more I want to say, but I will say it on stream later today instead of writing a book on here. Thank you guys again. Sorry you had to see all of that. This is definitely my last TwitchCon. It saddens me as a 10-year on and off attendee at TwitchCon. I think other creators should seriously consider not attending in the future. I did not feel cared for or protected, even bringing my own security and staff. I can't imagine how creators without those options would feel. So stay safe, y'all. Everything is going to be okay. So that's nuts. That is nuts that Twitch did not seem to care whatsoever. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. What is this about? Amiru being harassed at TwitchCon. It's been 10 years at TwitchCon already. I'm fucking old. Yeah, you are an old man. So that is nuts that Twitch seemed to not care and then thought like it would be okay to joke about it. Like, that's very wrong. Obviously, she's a very high profile streamer, and for there to be security around and not even care, except for the one that's her literal own security guard, and for the guy to not even be taken out of TwitchCon if it wasn't at her manager pushing for that, that's nuts. That is nuts. Yes, chat, please join the sub games on Overwatch right now while we are yapping. We're yapping until you guys come join for sub games. Meet and greet participants were checked prior to the event, but they were allowed a +1 that wasn't checked. Okay, that's interesting. So you have to... I mean, I've been to TwitchCon once, but I didn't attend any meet and greets, so I don't know how all that works. But That's interesting. So you have to, I assume, register then to go to a meet and greet, but then you can bring up +1 that's not checked. That's very odd, but still, it seems like this guy wasn't even registered or anything, or +1 or something along the lines of that. Like, I think this guy just straight up somehow just walked through, you know, another meet and greet and just went straight to her. Very weird, though, and I just think this is a problem in today's times. Like, even outside of the Amiru situation, and I'm not trying to blame men here. I'm like, people, you know, both genders are, people got issues, you know? Everyone's got issues. But it's like, I feel like some people feel like they have some sort of just like, they have the audacity to be able to go and do these things to strangers. And that guy was probably a viewer. You know, at the end of the day, that guy was probably a diehard viewer. He probably loved her. And he probably thought that they had some sort of connection simply just by watching her streams. You know, maybe one time she thanked him for subs or something along the lines of that and like said his username. There are some people that are very weird that will feel like they have a personal connection with a streamer because of certain things like that. And so maybe he thought because he's been watching her for so long that he maybe knew her enough to be able to do such a thing. But it's the fact that he just cut right past the line, past another meet and greet to go up to her and kiss her. That's very wrong. You know, if you don't know someone, you should not be putting your hands on them, let alone trying to kiss them. And even if you do know them, if you don't know them like that and you don't think they'd be cool with it, it's a little weird. I just don't understand how people don't think like, yeah, that was wrong, or like, yeah, I'm gonna do that and it'll be no problem. Like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. You know, like, what the hell? Even if you know someone, you don't do that, right? Like, I could be so close with someone, like my friends, you know, I'm gonna take my friends for example. I could be so close to my friends, like Zelda, let me use you for an example. You know, like, you'll be here next week, and it's like, I wouldn't even go up to you and put my hands on you and give you a kiss without asking you. Like, I feel like you would be uncomfortable with that despite us being good friends for years. It's like, no matter how well you know someone, that's just like a really weird thing to just go and do out of nowhere. You know, I feel like if you're dating someone, that's different, but even still, it's just like odd, you know? Doing that in front of that many people is insane. Right? It's not even like it was a private area. Like, he just straight up did it in front of so many people. He knew there was security there. He knew there was a whole meet and greet line right there, and he still felt the need to do it. People feel entitled via emotional and time investment. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Cam. So I feel like it's something like that where this guy probably has a lot of watch time in her stream and feels like because he's been supporting her for however long that he had some sort of excuse to go and do that. Just go ahead and do that. But that's not okay. Yeah, consent is a very important thing in all regards of stuff. When I went there were just massive crowds of people running to meet and greet lines. That was in 2018 and 2019. Okay, gotcha. I did go to TwitchCon in 2019, but I don't think I ever walked past a meet and greet area, so I don't know how all of that went about, but I guess maybe to make it more organized, yeah, you had to register for a meet and greet, so it makes sense. Only been to the one in Amsterdam, was kind of mid, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's my experience with TwitchCon. It was 6 years ago when I went, and I feel like TwitchCon 6 years ago is probably very different compared to now. You know, I don't know what TwitchCon is like now, but I just feel like the entire meta and community and stuff like that with streaming is super, super different nowadays. And, you know, you guys already know my take from a few streams ago about how I feel with like spicy work and all that. And if you do spicy work and you stream, you know, whatever, that's you. But I feel like the rise in a lot of spicy creators streaming on Twitch, that's brought a new community of weird people to Twitch. Weird people. Some people think Twitch is just straight up like that kind of stuff. Like that stuff, not video games. You know, I feel like Twitch isn't even about video games anymore. But I feel like with the rise of that sort of content being on Twitch, that's brought in a lot more strange, interesting, questionable people. And obviously, if Twitch is full of weird things, I'm not even considering people weird things, then those kinds of people will be attending TwitchCon. So it's like, those people are already on Twitch. They're gonna know that their favorite streamer, that might be like a hot tub streamer or something. I mean, that's not Amiru, of course. Amiru doesn't do anything like that. But I'm just saying, like, as like a general thing, that's gonna bring weird people to TwitchCon. So I don't know what it's like at TwitchCon nowadays. Again, I only went one time, and that was in 2019. But, you know, that guy probably didn't even know who Amiru was. He probably was just like walking by and thought, wow, she's really pretty, I'm gonna go kiss her. Like, what? Skeptics, 100 bits, thank you. Like, that's weird. That's not okay. Hi, Kumil. That meta was not a thing when I went. Same here. Like, of course, Twitch has always had, like, titty streamers. That's been a thing since forever on Twitch, you know? But I feel like back then, like 2018, 2019, it was very minimal compared to nowadays with Twitch. You know, Twitch back then used to be video games. That was it. Playing video games. I don't even think the just chatting section existed on Twitch back then. What did it used to be called? Like or was it not IRL, but I don't know, but the category was very, very small. Back then, Twitch was just purely gaming. Nowadays, Twitch, I feel like gaming is honestly like a very small percentage of it, and it's more so IRL content. I mean, with Twitch and content creation, Kick and whatever in general, I just feel like IRL content is doing so much better and is so much more of a thing nowadays, because this is just how I see it with all that. People have a lot going on in their lives. Like, it's 2025, people are stressed, people got big jobs, people are making enough money to survive, people got a lot of things going on. I feel like the average, especially Americans, the average American is stressed and living paycheck to the paycheck, and to them, when they come home from work, they just want to be able to play video games themselves. They just want to be able to play those games themselves, so they're not really going to be interested in necessarily watching gaming content. And this is just how I think I see things. There are people that will still want to watch gaming content, but I think overall people nowadays want to see content that they can't be like making themselves, if that makes sense, which would be IRL content. Take Extra Emily, for example. You know, she live streams herself like at the water park. That's not something people could do every day, is just go to the water park. So then they're going to be like, I'm going to tune into this stream because she's streaming herself at the water park. I can't see that every day. Or we're going to take, you know, the girl that was giving birth on Twitch. I mean, that one's a little bit more crazy, but it's like, you can't see someone give birth every day. So I'm going to go watch that stream over somebody playing Overwatch. Me. You know? So, yeah. Go back to when Casey Tron was controversial a few... was controversial a few having a low-cut shirt and playing CS. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Casey Tron was one of them back in the day that definitely got a lot of things said to her because she was like one of like the OG titty streamers and stuff like that. But now it's definitely way more of a normal thing on Twitch, especially with free games. Yeah, there are a lot of free games as well. So a lot of people want to just be able to play those games and then not have to watch it elsewhere. People are more likely to watch games that are paid. Yeah, like let's take Battlefield 6, for example. It just came out. How much is it? It's expensive, isn't it? Battlefield 6 price. It's $70. Now, I've never played Battlefield before, and I've heard from a lot of people that it's great, but to me, I'm just like, damn, $70? Like, that's a lot for a video game, so I'm personally not gonna go spend $70 on a game, but that would be a situation where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch someone else play this to see if maybe I want to get it. But if it's a free game, say, like, I don't know, Clash of Clans. I'm over here live streaming myself playing Clash of Clans or something like that. I think I'll get a lot less viewers, you know? But overall, wrapping up with the Amiru situation, that is really terrible what happened to her. I think we all kind of have the same take here on that, that's not okay. Please, chat, don't put your hands on someone you don't know. Even if you know them, don't do that. Let's use our brains. Let's use this thing, okay? I'm gonna knock on it. You hear that? Let's use our brains and let's not touch people without consent. And let's just use social awareness and just have our neurons connected when we're thinking about doing certain things that could possibly have X, Y, and Z outcome. So yeah, those people have brains. Well, they have it, but it doesn't mean it's working. I think everyone has a brain, but it doesn't work. So, just what we're gonna take out of this, poor Amiru. I feel so bad for her. That's a very traumatizing thing as a woman to go through. I feel really, really bad for her. That is very, very scary. You know, I am not big by any means on social media, especially compared to like her regards, but I have experienced really weird things because of people in public, and it's very scary. So I sympathize for her. I think that is really terrible, and I hope that doesn't have to happen to her again. It's very sad that situations like that make her unable to go to TwitchCon in the future, because now it's like, imagine the people that do really want to meet her and really just want to be able, like, imagine like a really sweet fan that likes her, has no weird intentions, something like that, say they made her a gift or whatever, they want to be able to meet her, and now they're not gonna be able to do that because of people like that guy. So going forward, chat, let's try to use our brains, let's think a little bit, and let's make good decisions.